Hello, hi, welcome to Group 2 Movie Project. Our topic is how does plagiarism affect international students and what are methods to avoid it. It seems to be easy to find information you need for a paper, but it's not equally easy to use that information without falling into a plagiarism trap. So, there are mainly 4 methods for you to make sure your paper is free of plagiarism. We have paraphrasing, citing, quoting, and referencing. We'll go through all of these more specifically in the following. Method 1. Paraphrasing. After you read through the resources, the best way for you to use them is to rephrasing author's ideas and information in your own words. And there are 2 key points for paraphrasing. First, use words from original article as few as possible, especially not over 2 same words from article. Instead, use the most proper words coming up from your own mind. Second, do not change the meaning when you try to convey the ideas. It happens frequently since changing may cause slight difference, but you have to minimize its likelihood. Here are some examples of paraphrasing for you to look through. Her life spanned years of incredible change for women, and they gained more rights than ever before. Paraphrase. She lived through the exciting era of women's liberation. And you can quickly go through the next one. Methods 2. Citing. This is an effective method to avoid plagiarizing. When you read the article, make a note including author's name, article title, years of publication, and any relevant information about the ideas. Some citing resources may be helpful for you, like the MLA, APA, and Chicago. Method 3. Quoting. If the original text has same words that are best to convey the ideas, you could include the identical words. However, you have to use quote mark to achieve this. Additionally, all quoting words should also be cited correctly. For example, Harriet Jacobs, a former slave from North Carolina, published an autobiographical slave narrative in 1861. She exposed the hardships of both male and female slaves, but ultimately concluded that slavery is terrible for men, but is far more terrible for women. This is a good example because it correctly used the quoting marks. Methods 4. Referencing. It is necessary to include a unique section for reference or works cited at the end. If you want to get the reference page right, you have to follow the formatting guidelines since it requires you to provide specific and formatting information of all used resources.
Hello, for my topic is about plagiarize, and for my part, it is about to get the reason of how white student will use plagiarize. First, maybe we all know the definition of the plagiarize, that is use someone else's paper or someone else like data to replace your homework, and we can this is the definition of plagiarize, and we can see to these people. In this picture, this guy is worried about how to do their homework because the due date is tomorrow, and he make a bad choice. He just want to reuse the last year's homework to be a new homework. That is pretty bad. That is not the student that we're looking for. Okay, the introduction. For this topic, I would like to introduce 3 reasons that is why the student will use plagiarize. And the first one, it is about language, and the second one is self-control, and the last one is ghostwriter. For the first one, language. As we all know that the English is the second language of the world, except those native speakers. Because we know that some Japanese and Korean and Chinese students always learn English when they're really young, and Because this reason, the second language is never greater than their native language. For example, I'm a Chinese student. My English is pretty bad, but my Chinese is really good. This is well known. And when we use our second language to their homework, there may be some problem. For most of Chinese students, when they use Chinese to do their paper, it's pretty easy. However, if they use their English to write down their paper, it's pretty difficult. That is a very bad choice if they want to use plagiarize, because when they could not use some professional word or some other high quality word to do their homework, they may consider to use plagiarize to get a higher grade, but they can't do that by themselves. And the second one is about self-control. To talking about self-control, I would like to mention about time management ability. Like we all know that time management ability is really important for each student in university, because they need to manage their time to doing their homework and their paper and recitation. So if a student could not have a very good time management, so they may have faced some problem about doing their homework. When the due date comes, they may not just begin, so they may use plagiarize to figure out how to do their homework. This is one biggest problem, the biggest reason about why people always use plagiarize, because they don't have enough time to do that, so they will use plagiarize. And last one is ghostwriter. This one is especially for some Chinese students. As we all know that Chinese students have a lot of international students. When they're doing their homework, they may need some help, and therefore there's a lot of ghostwriter in the internet, so they can help students to do their homework. For some essay or report or paper, they can all to help you to do that. You can just stay there and play game or having fun, and you can get a very high grade. This one is so like just a few people use that, because the price is really expensive, but still some students use that. And we can see this picture. It shows some Chinese and English. For the Chinese, it's about help you to write, help you to explain your paper, and the logo there is about WeChat. This is a social network in Chinese students, and you can use social network to find them and let them help you to do your homework. This is one of the reasons that students may use plagiarize. For conclusion, all in all, for most reasons that may lead students to doing wrong ways, most significant one I still think is language. If we use our like English as good as Chinese, we will never use plagiarize to do that. We can easily do that by ourselves. So thank you.
Instructors typically have little tolerance for plagiarism, because they want you to learn and earn your grades fairly and honestly. If you are caught plagiarizing, academic sanction can include a lower grade, failing the course, or dismissal from an academic major. An incident of plagiarism can also diminish your chances of good reference from the instructor for scholarship application, study abroad program, graduate school, internship, or graduate assistantship. Plagiarism is grounds for disciplinary probation, suspension, or permanent expulsion from school. An academic misconduct notation can be placed on your transcript that may be seen by other colleges and universities, so you may not be able to transfer as an undergraduate or get into law school, medical school, or any graduate school. For international students, most of them spend a lot of time or money to study abroad. The reason of them to study abroad is study professional knowledge. If they waste their time on plagiarism, it will be meaningless. Also, if students always steal ideas from others, their way of thinking will be lazy. They do not want to think about themselves. When applying for jobs, especially in law enforcement for the federal government, or enlisting in military service, it is important to have clean disciplinary history. Plagiarism charge in college could bring into question your ethics, integrity, and suitability for a profession.